Hi. Okay. So for today's live stream, yay, YouTube Live, we're going to work with the energy of fear, which is something most of us would much rather avoid. It's a lot easier to run from fear than to work with it. But when we disassociate our brain stories around the fear, our worries about past, present, how we've acted, what we could have done better, um, where we are responsible, when we really step out of that space of judgment around the fear, judgment of ourselves around the fear, then we can actually deal with it as an energy that can simply be dissolved. So that's what we're gonna do today. Hooray! And we're going, I just watched Charlie the Unicorn. So if some of the Charlie comes out, sorry in advance. And the unicorn is the wrong animal. We're working with the phoenix today because the phoenix is really a wonderful, wonderful energy to work with to clear anything that doesn't serve you. So whether it's doubt, guilt, fear, grief, any of those heavier energies, we can really connect with the phoenix fire to help our souls clear it and to work with the energy by stepping out of the brain. So let's just take a minute to ground before we dive in. So just take a few deep breaths. Feel any heady energy, any swirling thoughts, just bring them down, drop them into your heart. Drop them into your heart. And if you like, you can drop a grounding cord from your heart down, 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 down through your legs, through your feet and into the earth. And just feel yourself supported by the earth, held by the earth, nourished by the earth. And so from here, we can sort of feel around in our energy and see where there might be some fear hanging out, some fear lingering, or maybe you've been hit with certain fears, whether they feel really tangible and very real, or whether they feel a lot more vague and insubstantial. It's still there. It's still, the feeling the feeling of fear doesn't really distinguish between real fear and false fear. And of course, there are many who believe that all fear is false because, of course, fear is part of this kind of 3D matrix that we are stepping out of now. So we can really dissolve our connection to that fear and dissolve the weight of that fear. So here's the phoenix. Calling in the phoenix. I love working with the phoenix. The phoenix is one of the energies I work with in Activate, which is starting up again in like another month or so. So that's going to be fun. We're working with the phoenix again. So just sort of feel into any areas of your life where you have some fear, whether it's financial fear, relationship fear, fear of something you haven't done, fear of something you have done, any place that kind of sticky energy tries to glom on or to cling, just breathe into it. Know that it's not real. It's just an energy. And okay, actually it's already starting to release. It feels like the phoenix is kind of working with the first few layers of fear, the first few sticky layers. So you might be feeling some things releasing, dissolving, drifting away. Just sort of be present with whatever is moving, whatever's happening. And you might feel this very strongly, or you might not feel anything at all. Don't worry about it. It's either way is perfect. And everybody receives information differently. Some people hear, some people feel, some people see, some people know. We all have our own kind of primary source. And then, as we play with the primary source of how we receive intuitive information, we can start developing the other sources as well. Um, so I primarily know, and from from working with the knowledge, then I started to see, and then I started to feel, and maybe I'll start to hear at some point. Who knows? Doesn't matter. But it's fun to play with at any rate. So just sort of feel into where the fear shows up. So since you're watching this, there's probably some place that you have some fear, and just see where it shows up in your body or your energy or your brain. Maybe it shows up in a circling thought pattern, maybe it shows up physically in a part of your body. So when I connect with my fear, for example, I have some fear around credit card debt and around just carrying debt. It's like literally a weight. And so it's not literally a weight. That was the wrong way to put it. But it is an energetic weight, as well as sort of a 3D, oh, this is bad kind of judgment space. So knocking things over. So when I feel into that fear, it shows up in my belly. It shows up deep in my stomach. And so calling in the phoenix to that place helps dissolve the weight of that energy, the weight of that fear. So then the way I think about credit card debt, to use this example, it tends to ground it a little bit more if we use real life examples. Using this example, when I check in with that idea of carrying credit card debt, it's like, oh, it's just another thing on the spreadsheet. It's just like, a car payment or anything else. And the more I dissolve the fear and the energy around it, the weight around it, the easier it is to clear, the actual credit card debt in the 3D life, 3D world. And so as we dissolve the fear energetically, sometimes the thing that is triggering the fear disappears as well. Sometimes that dissipates, not always, but either way, it doesn't matter because we're not feeling the fear in the same way. It just becomes one more thing that, life holds. So, and then the other piece of playing with the energy of fear is that a lot of the fear we feel is not ours. It's been inherited from family. It's been taken on from others. It's been, many of us are very attuned to the collective. And so when the collective is releasing fear, we will kind of automatically feel fear as well. And then we can say, attach it to credit card debt, that something we weren't scared of 2 days ago. It was just like, oh, it's just another thing. All of a sudden we're like, really locked into, whatever the kind of wherever our brain goes, like, oh, this is the thing you should be afraid of. When we start to feel the collective fear, we'll go straight to that thing that we think we should be afraid of. So unhooking from the collective fear, or, just noticing, okay, I'm feeling this from the collective. So how can I clear this? How can I take care of this in a way that really serves me and my energy? And there are some of us who, have decided to help the collective release energies. So that, if you feel like that's something that you do, you can check in and see, okay, does that agreement still resonate with me? Does that still feel like something that it's good for me to do? Do I still want to do that? Because we can always rewrite agreements. If, you feel like, okay, well, it's my job to help the collective release this fear. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't have to be. Maybe that is something that you can choose again. You can choose something new. Just to put that out there. So, okay, so now the Phoenix is working with various cords we have to fear, whether those cords are into the collective fear, into personal fear, into ancestral fear. It's helping us dissolve those cords so that that fear just drifts away. It goes back into the light. It returns to its source in a way that's in the highest good for all. And so whenever we're working with these energies, we just keep in mind the idea that this is in the highest good of all. So, okay, yeah, it's like the Phoenix. I keep thinking of the Phoenix as the magnificent fire chicken. So, FYI. If you would like to use that, please do. The magnificent fire chicken is really heating it up here. It feels like a lot of the old energy, the stuck energy, because we're never stuck. It's easy to feel like we're stuck in life or stuck in various situations, but we're never stuck. It's only the energy that is stuck. So when we play with the energy, when we shift the energy, and shifting energy, it doesn't have to be this like deep, magnificent fire chicken meditation. It can be getting up and taking a walk. It can be taking a specific action that feels good to you. It can be doing some exercise. It can be just breathing, just focusing on the breath, focusing on the present. All of these things will help us shift the energy. So if you ever, if you get hit by a wave of fear, you can just breathe through it and remind yourself this is not real. Unless you get hit by a wave of fear and you see a bus coming toward you, then jump out of the way of the bus. But in most cases, our direct well-being, our direct emotional well-being is not being affected by the fear. So the fear is simply an energy that can dissolve, that can dissipate. So just checking back in with the Phoenix. Okay, so yeah, the Phoenix is just working with our energy right now. So the beauty of these videos and the beauty of the way this works is that the Phoenix is working with your higher self to, give you whatever you need today, whatever is most beneficial for you at this stage of wherever you're at. So you can just take a moment and let the Phoenix work with any old energies of fear that we have and just help them dissolve. Okay, and I'm just going to ask specifically that the Phoenix remove any old fears that no longer serve us, any fears from the collective that do not belong to us, any fears from friends, loved ones that do not belong to us. Those are being cleared as well. Good. Okay. Good, good, good. And so now what we can do is we can bring in a new energy. We can bring in the white light of source. We can bring in that beautiful rose pink energy of Mother Mary. We can bring in the red raspberry light of Mary Magdalene. We can bring in the golden flame of Jesus. We can bring in that sort of bluish white light of Archangel Michael, whatever connects with you, whatever color connects with you, whatever guide connects with you. The violet flame of Saint Germain is a wonderful one for this. And we just fill the areas where the energy has shifted. We just really power them up with this cleaner energy, if you want to say that. So just feel whatever color, whatever guides energy, or you can just ask your higher self to fill in any holes and really patch up your energetic body, your energetic space. Especially when cords are removed, we want to kind of fill the holes. Good. Okay. Yeah, and actually in the process of working with that light feels like another big chunk of fear just dissipated. So that can be really lovely. Okay. Feels like that is good for today, at least with the healing. Let's see, does anything else want to come through around dissolving fear? Okay, yeah, I'm just being reminded again, fear isn't real. It's a part of this reality. It has been a part of this reality. We are beginning to shift into new energies where fear will drift up, but we have a much stronger sense of it as being false, as being not true. So we can dissolve the energy of the fear much more quickly, much more easily, knowing that it really doesn't have any true effect on us. And so this can take some practice. This can take, some sort of sinking into what your soul's truth is, what your soul knows is the truth, because we're used to being in fear in this kind of reality. And I know the more of this kind of work I do, the more of this energy work I do, the easier it is for me to step out of my own fear. And I used to be steeped in fear pretty much constantly, and it's no fun. It's a hard way to live, and it's not necessary. So as we, just continue to play with these other dimensions, these other energies in whatever way feels good, we really do clear space and make room for our soul's truth to come through. And of course, your soul knows that there is nothing to fear, that fear is not real and doesn't have any um, bearing on your purpose here or your safety. This, the safety of you as a divine being. So just take a few minutes and breathe with that. And just as you breathe, notice if there's anything still floating in your space, and just allow whatever is floating to dissolve. Maybe it sinks into the earth below your feet. Maybe it dissolves into the light. Maybe it just dissipates in a puff of smoke. Good. Okay. Well, I hope that feels clearer. I hope that, anything that you've been wrangling feels a bit better, and know that you can always breathe through your own fear. You can always call in the phoenix or any other energy that feels helpful to you to help you clear whatever energy is showing up. And you can always, for me, my kind of go-tos when I'm really like, if I'm really in it and I have trouble remembering what the tools are, just breathing through it, and then calling in the white light, because the white light works with everything. So you can just fill yourself up with that white light, and that will help. So I hope that has been helpful today. Thank you so much for joining me. I see like one person's here. That's great. And if you see this later, know that you can come back to this video anytime if you need a reminder around how to work with the energy of fear and to clear it for yourself. And yeah, you're doing a great job. We're all doing a great job. Hooray. So yeah, thank you. And I will see you either tomorrow or Monday as I do these daily-ish lives. So thank you. Mwah. Love you all.